They delayed it one whole year because they had to go back and redo massive portions of the whole movie. Was a disaster from the get-go.
Exactly.
And it had Disney written all over it. Disney basically did everything wrong making that film. From start to finish, they completely screwed the pooch, which is basically just par for the course with Disney now. It doesn't matter if it's a Star Wars movie. It doesn't matter if it's a Disney live-action princess remake. It doesn't matter if it's a Marvel movie especially. They don't have people running these studios that frankly know what the hell they're doing. They just don't.
Well,
and they're getting circles run around them by other studios out there.
Renegade Online.
Well, I mean, this is, and I love these images that are going out there. And Jeremy had put this up, told him I was going to steal it. And
there's some good ones out there, yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, this is pretty accurate, and it's so bad out there. Pro, you'd mentioned this earlier, that it is now spilling over into other Disney designs, right? Tangled, which is the Rapunzel story, that has been apparently delayed for some reason, and we all came up with the same joke as soon as we saw it. And it's because they were probably going to cast Cynthia Erivo as Rapunzel in that movie. Everybody had the same joke, which is really not that much of a joke, because that is something that's the kind of stupid stuff that Disney would actually do. But the point is that they've said, oh, I guess we have to rethink our live action remakes. No, you have to make a movie that doesn't suck, number one, and number two, make sure that whoever you hire to play these characters, number one, look like the characters that people remember, and number two, don't run their mouths, like you were just saying. Going out there saying all this stupid stuff and pissing people off. You cannot tell me that the Snow White movie failed because of whatever extenuating circumstances out there just naturally in the market, or some secular headwind. Oh, people just, they're going to wait for streaming now and then have the whole world show up to go see a Minecraft movie 2 freaking weeks later. It does not work.
I wonder if this, what would have happened given, remember the Jack Black controversy with Tenacious D and his his bandmate
Kyle Gass.
Who said that stuff, and Jack Black threw him under the bus, and they're already back touring again, but he definitely didn't come to his defense when that stuff happened.
I think that's part of the thing that saved him some face in the end. I mean, it didn't look good for him, but
yeah,
the fact that he tried to distance the whole idea of being political, even though he's done political
but Kyle Gass called for
That's what I'm saying. And the difference there is kind of related to what Rachel Zegler did with Snow White, right? It wasn't so much that she had a pro-Palestine message, it was the fact that she attached it to Snow White. That's what pissed the people off behind the scenes, supposedly. And it's the same thing here from what we could tell with Jack Black. It wasn't so much that Kyle said that, it was the fact that he said it on stage at a Tenacious D concert, therefore connecting it to Tenacious D now, making it impossible for them to get insurance going forward, because now they have to worry about death threats and all that other bullshit that goes along with the stupidity of getting into politics.
Well, the one thing that I think is really noteworthy that's different between those two situations, and I had a lot of people bring that up. The fact is that, number one, well, I mean, even though he agrees with it, I'm sure, Jack Black didn't say it. That was Kyle. And he's on the stage, yeah, whatever, but it was a one-time thing. It happened once. With Snow White, Rachel Zegler obviously was out there from day one telling us that this was not going to be the Snow White that everybody knows. This is going to be about, a feminist thing. She could find her own power and be the leader that her dad. It's not going to be about romance. It's not going to be about the prince saving her. The prince was a stalker and all. Basically, she sunk the movie before anybody had seen one stitch of it, because she went out and told everybody, hey, if you think we're making a Snow White movie, we're actually not. So don't bother seeing it. And it got worse and worse. And then we saw the Daily Mail putting out the article about, here's the 7 dirty hippies. And then they delayed it for a whole year, trying to say that, oh, it's because of the actor strike, which was a total lie. A complete ridiculous lie. They delayed it one whole year because they had to go back and redo massive portions of the whole movie. Was a disaster from the get-go. And it had Disney written all over it. Disney basically did everything wrong making that film. From start to finish, they completely screwed the pooch, which is basically just par for the course with Disney now. It doesn't matter if it's a Star Wars movie. It doesn't matter if it's a Disney live-action princess remake. It doesn't matter if it's a Marvel movie especially. They don't have people running Disney. They don't have people running these studios that frankly know what the hell they're doing. They just don't.
Well,
and they're getting circles run around them by other studios out there.
and that's
Like
why
we
I
say
think a
this
lot of them are
weekend.
getting scared, and it's coming down because the people are starting to ask questions, and you're right, and I agree with you because like the Jack Black Tenacious D parallel had been if instead of just laying low like Kyle did and not saying anything else, this would have been like Kyle coming out and doing a song like F Donald Trump and F you if you like him and just doubling down and quadrupling down. That's exactly what you did. You're 100% right, right? Like it was bad enough that she had to attach it to that in the first place. It was the fact that she kept going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. And I apologize to the chat for those who are saying for us to try and curve our cursing. I'm doing my best, but when I'm around, I make valiant.
Let's just say
swear
that
more.
Tom's swear jar comes in the gallons. By the way, I'll say
And I'm a
this.
bad influence.
Warner Brothers, I'll guarantee when that happened, Warner Brothers reached out. I don't know this, but I'll guarantee it anyway. Warner Brothers probably reached out and said, hey, Jack, fix this and fix it now. And Jack said, fixing it, on it. And the difference in that is we now know, according to the sources who are very close to what happened with Zegler, that repeatedly they had to send fly producers on planes to this little post-teen and tell her, hey, you're not allowed to say that. You can't do that. Get this off of here. And her response was, no.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Said
it.
twat.
And that's
I left the T off, Tom. You weren't supposed to say that. Toi. It's French, Tom.
Oh.
Toi.
Oh, I thought you said watt.
Toi.
1.21 gigatwatts? What? That's what she did. She went full 1.21 gigatwatts.
I still think her criticisms of the original story hurt them more than her political
absolutely.
comments. And there's absolutely a double standard because Gal Gadot was allowed to say whatever she wanted in the lead up to the movie because people like her and she gets more leeway because it's just more politically acceptable in Hollywood.
Right, you're right. The difference though was that she wasn't attaching her stuff to Snow White, plus she is Israeli and she was in the Israeli army. Secondly, that's the whole thing. It's like she did say the same stuff on the red carpet. You're 100% right. So she can't be let off on this, and that also tells us what? That tells us Disney was all in on this. Go get as far away from the classic as you can.
It was sold to them that way. I guarantee you it was sold to Zegler as a feminist film.
And you know what? I think we're going to find that out. I have a feeling. I've been hearing rumors. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if this shit gets bad enough for Zegler, she might turn around and sue Disney over this whole thing and try and claim that they are destroying her. And what's going to be sad, and this might segue into the Gina Carano stuff, is the stuff that's going to help Gina is going to hurt her. Right, like that's the thing about this whole thing. But yeah, anyway.
Well, it's one of those situations where it's a high hurdle to climb. And I talked to Ron Coleman before the show, and he was going to try to make it. But I know he had a lot going on. They got Passover coming up, so he's busy with the family. But I would tell you that from all the conversations we've had in the past with Ron, this kind of thing when you talk about defamation and proving, it's a high hurdle to climb. And the difference is that with Gina's situation is that she was terminated from Disney. Her character was terminated.
Exactly.
Her contract was not renewed. There's something measurable there they can point to and say, look, money.
Exactly.
Whereas with Rachel, it's like, Disney hasn't fired you. They haven't done this. They haven't done that. Whatever the case, that's an interesting dynamic, but she can try.
What you do have is you have the stories that have come out about her. And I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, Valiant. I don't think she has a case. I don't even know if she'll necessarily try.
I don't think
rumors
she
have been going around because it's been put out in the press now, especially by that kid of the producer. Basically, yeah. So like you have those things out there that she might use, especially if she has a hard time getting back into Hollywood. But we'll have to see how that works out. You're not wrong. She did dig her own ditch, but I agree with Brett that Disney helped her dig the ditch to begin with, and then went, "What the did you dig that ditch for?"
Yeah.
Can you imagine if a producer flies out, the company sends somebody out to you, and the producer says, excuse me, 21-year-old, your co-star is in physical danger because of what you've said, and we're having to bring in security, and it's like a $200 to $300 million loss we expect. It's bigger. Would you please delete this one thing you said? And then her response is, No.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.